Hello, Serge here from the Backyard Driving Range. We have a question that came in from customers, actually from the Facebook page, Swing Surgeon Facebook. And this one does not have a name with it, but it says, notice club face shut at impact, in parentheses right-handed. I start square, I think, put more right arm in to correct, and then pushing ball. What causes this, and what can I do to correct it? All right, it's a good question. All right, let's just start off with the most important issue here that we have to deal with. If we want to hit the ball relatively straight, we know that the face has to be square at impact, right? Dr. Alistair Cochran, in the book The Search for the Perfect Swing, described that a good shot, which he described as a relatively straight shot, if this is my aiming line, which I'm pointing here at the club at the camera, the club has to approach on the line, strike it on the line and be square. That means at a right angle to it. And that face can do that because the face angle is a straight line. So a right angle is the face square or at 90 degrees to your aiming line. So it has to approach on the line, hit it on the line and be square. Leave on the line accelerating. That means speeding up. And hit the ball solid in a sweet spot while doing the first three. So I call that on, square and solid. Okay? Now, Dr. Dave Pelz did some research one time, and he wanted to find out what happens if a club face, what was the most important thing to hitting consistent putts. And so he felt that there were three issues here. There was path, there was face angle at impact, and solidness of contact. And he tested all three, and guess what he found out? He found out one was 83% important, one was 85% important, and one was 93%. All right, and all of this is found in his book, the Putting Like the Pros, which I think Dr. Pelz published somewhere in the late 80s. And he found that most people always figure out that path is really important. But in the end, it ended up that solid was more important because you could have perfect path, perfect face angle, which we already said it's got to be square. But if you mishit it, that'll knock the face open or shut and destroy it and immediately kill the shot, because once it's less solid, it's going to very likely start offline, get some spin depending on how the shaft, when the face opens, if it opens, it's going to slide the club. If you towed it and it turned it in or whatever, or whatever, it can make it go left. But the point is optimum distance for any club head speed is achieved through solidness of contact, where the ball comes straight off the club face at that exact moment of impact. And if the swing is correct on the proper path, it's starting right at its target line. Okay? So solid is critical. So what can cause, as is implied in his question, he thinks it's square, but he sees that impact, it's hooked. So I guess maybe he's either filmed himself with a good camera so he can slow it down and check that it is. Or in many cases, what sometimes happens with a lot of us, we think it's square at address, but when we finish and we take the club back down, it's shut. So how the heck did that happen? Well, it's amazing how many times I see students in a lesson and they actually do a number of different things when they grip the club. They grip it correctly here and they come down to the ground, and as they waggle, they start fidgeting with their fingers. Now sometimes they might fidget it, and many times they do this. They get in here, and one of maybe the last things they do, for many folks, it's automatically a trigger for them to start their swing. They go like this. They'll actually lift their hand off and get it very strong. Now, in this case, if they do that and the face didn't change in their hands at this point, but what happens when they make a swing back and their arms rotate back to where they were? Look where the club is. It's dead shut now. And therefore, if I did that, when I come back in here and I hit it that way and I swing through, so you can see the club face is left instead of being square right there, it's over there. And then when I come up here and finish and I come back here, it's shut, and they say, geez, how did it finish? Well, they don't even know they're doing that. All right? Now, I've had some people, I've seen them now and then, they get going and they really don't change their grip much, but when they kind of loosen it and they grip it, right? Say I got a perfect grip here. All right, I'm just going to hold my hand like this, and I got a perfect grip, and I'm waggling around, and at the last second, I kind of just go like this. And when I tighten my fingers on my club, even though I'm tightening them relatively swinging up, it can do that. All right? I actually had that problem for a while, and it happened from my right hand. I'd be walking in, and I'd set my grip in my right hand, but I was getting a little bit too deep in the fingers with the right hand, and so when I came here, and even though I got my grip, and I don't waggle that much, when I really squeeze my right hand, as you can see, it just tweaked it over a little bit. And so I have to watch that, because if I keep it in the middle groove over here, as I say, crimp the fingers in my lower hand and lay it in there, I didn't have figuring the bottom of the shaft at 6 o'clock in that little crimp. I had it up here closer to all the way to the joint where my fingers are going into my palm. All right, and so when I kind of had a tendency to shut it. So now no matter where it is, if I'm in that crimp and I squeeze and I really get to my last set of grip pressure, I set my grip pressure pretty good here, but in the end, because I got a little bit of waggle, if I locked everything down and firmed it up as much as I want up there, my arms and my muscles could be tiring out before I swing. So I get in here and I'm going to set my grip pressure as the last thing. My last waggle, I go down, I set my grip pressure, my knees go wide, and then I swing. So I got like a 1, 2, 3 to start. And I always start from 0, because what? 0 is the same. So that way my brain can coordinate exactly what starts, when it starts, how it starts, what muscles are moving, how they're moving, and everything else involved. And so when I get that grip pressure correctly and that finger in the correct place in my fingers, when I finally go, I set the club, firm the grip, widen the knees and go. The face stays the same, and I hit my shot and start it right where I want it to go. All right, so a lot of these causes are in many cases improperly gripping the club, especially if you're getting the grip strong. So check yourself out. Put a camera on it, have somebody watch you really close, and you might see that many golfers are milking the club, so to speak, and then having that regrip, and that's the worst. Milking it is dangerous, really dangerous, and you're better off to keep it the quietest you can. I always like to feel like whatever I start with from up here, I'm never going to change it, but you have to start in the right place. Palms perpendicular to the ground, across the fingers in the left hand with the heel of the hands on top, crimp it, lay it in there, and you have both palms perpendicular to the ground. But milking it is very, very dangerous, and especially having a regrip to start the club back is just about going to absolutely guarantee you that you're going to change your face angle, and you're going to have problems with it coming in at impact. And if it's coming in, if you change it to shut club to a strong grip, even with a square face, when you release, it's going to be shut. And so the tendency then is to, after you keep hitting them left, to start doing that. And the next thing, you're opening up everything to the right, and you're in that ever forever Army golf, left, right, right, left, whatever. Okay? So check it out and make sure that you got a good constant grip pressure in the right place, and you're never, ever re-gripping it to start your takeaway. All right, that's it for the search for today, and I'll be talking to you all again soon.